If you look at it, he's outside too. It's almost like he's teleporting. If you look at it.
Yeah, because you see trees in the background. We saw him go into a cave, and then suddenly he's got trees in the background.
He got leaves and shit behind. It's broad daylight. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. Here, people, now and then there's a movie so special with a full cast of respected actors, some of them Academy Award winners.
A-listers.
A-listers. And the cast is so large, the project is so large that it takes years to become what it is. It takes years to come into its own. Thus, people, and I kid you not, Jurassic Park, as I told Martin earlier, Jurassic Park said a movie so good, 1 billion years in the making. This movie right here said, bitch, we ain't got to take that long. Just give us 37 years and we'll give you a masterpiece. 37 years in the making, people.
With an all-star cast.
An all-star cast. And people, this is when we have this masterpiece right here. People, I want you to behold a movie that I have fallen in love with today. You know I love these type of movies, and this is one that is high on my list now. I present to you, proudly, Grizzly 2.
This time they get it right.
George Clooney, Laura Dern, and them, Charlie Sheen. Where has this been? 37 years for this to come out?
What happened now?
Grizzly killed again.
And probably enraged.
I love he throws his head back like, you goddamn right I am. I'm sorry, she. It's a female bear.
Boy, this woman right here, she delivered that line with earnest. Do you hear that line? The bear is out there and probably enraged. I'm sorry, y'all. Grizzly 2, Revenge. People.
The concert.
Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Did you not hear Grizzly 2? That's because this is a sequel, kinda, maybe,
sorta,
to the 1976 killer animal exploitation movie Grizzly.
Motion picture does not cater to fantasy and devour any human.
And these people don't give a.
No, they do not.
Bear, what bear?
We're already comfortable.
They treat that bear like the pandemic, man. We don't believe in no bear. Bear.
Grizzly.
They gonna kill Life Aquatic over here. Grizzly. You know, that says it all right there. There's a movie about a pissed off, angry bear killing campers.
Yeah, it's Jaws, take away the shark, replace it with a bear.
Put it with a bear. But now what you have here with Grizzly 2, they said, no, man, shit, well, you know, we got to take this to the next level right here. So, yes, you have a bear that's pissed off, but this time the revenge comes in where the bear, her cub was killed. And she says, oh, somebody got to pay. She starts with stupid-ass teenage campers and works her way up to a shitty 80s pop synth music festival.
The Eurovision festival for Hungary. Also, within all that, she starts as a large bear and grows to the size of Mighty Joe Young.
Yeah, what you see. When I gave you that description right there, that's the movie they at least wanted to make. That is until the producer ran off with everybody's millions. By the way, never prosecuted to this day, and they were left with an incomplete film.
I've seen both versions of it. I've seen the work print that's been out on bootlegs for quite a while.
Yeah.
Pretty much whenever you go to a convention, you can see that sitting there alongside like Roger Corman's Fantastic Four and the Star Wars Holiday Special. So I've seen them both.
I am dying to know the differences.
Yeah, and I'm gonna save this for probably the end of the review, but you got a lot of history with this movie Grizzly too, right down to the producer. I think the producer that's actually the criminal.
Mm-hmm.
No, at least not the version I've heard.
Okay, well we'll find out about that in a little bit, man. But let's go ahead and get into the review. Now you might hear a little bit about. You might hear Brad throughout the show, but if you don't see him, that's because I gotta switch like tabs and whatnot. But he should be heard. So Brad, even if you're not seen, please feel free to interject at any time. They put all these names out there, but if you couldn't tell by how George Clooney and Laura Dern and Charlie Sheen had no speaking lines in the trailer, well, unless you count you know, and that was a short too. Unless you count their screams, people, they die in 5 minutes. But in this movie, they give them top billing like they were the heroic A-listers cast here that killed the bear at the end of the film.
Yeah, they give them top billing, and what they have are it's being generous to call them cameos.
Well, they give them 5 minutes. It's a cameo. I mean, but what that cameo is where it brings into question. Because people, did you notice in the trailer, they said Clooney, Dern, Sheen, and then list off nobody else's names in there. People, these A-listers that you have here, well, that might be going a little bit far with Charlie Sheen, but
I mean, for a while,
unless you count A for AIDS or something. I was cheap.
I mean, you know, he made it. He was famous, and he made himself infamous.
And he made it. Yeah, he's still out there.
Yeah,
but
he's a household name.
But no, people, no, you know, they are not the heroes of this film.
No.
What they are the idiot kids that you see die in every slasher movie. They are simply there to just do all the stupid shit that every stupid ass teenager does in every slasher movie. They're going like, for example, they're going places where the signs clearly tell them not to go. It's a big ass sign that says danger, and they said, fuck it, we going anyway.
And that's the most generic sign you could put up there.
No wonder
what font is that?
And notice, people, and I can't really say that's stupid, because the sign that's supposed to warn people not to go on the trail is off the trail behind a bush covered up by leaves. So I really can't blame them. Yeah, it's almost like the bear picked up the sign and moved the shit.
And covered it with
leaves and shit. You know, before they were known as the great, in some cases, Oscar-winning actors that they are today, back then, they were some of the worst ad-libbers that you could see.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make my trip a little easier for my sake.
A great evening of wonderful music.
Now, I don't know if they are just that bad of actors, or they were really drinking, because they are terrible. Even the short time that they have.
It was the first job for all of them.
They're drunk.
They're flown over to Hungary.
Yeah. So Pete, this was shot in Hungary. And yet Martin was telling me the story last night. Like, I didn't even look up anything, because Martin gave me the whole story. Like, this was like some of their first roles here.
Yeah. They took it because it was their first roles and a chance to go there. For Charlie Sheen, this is where he got his SAG card came from doing this.
From Grizzly too.
Yeah.
So this is played out. It's supposed to be, back in the 70s, they had a lot of these animal killer disaster type movies. They were kind of horror movies, but they were disaster movies too, and they were, you know, almost killer animal exploitation. But this one combined that with the slasher film, because you know, in every slasher movie, like before the killer or the slasher actually goes after the couple, like he'll be behind a bush getting off and watching them get ready to have sex, and he'll jack off and then, you know what, the other thing is, like, you know, it's almost as a courtesy. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna let y'all fuck. I'm gonna let y'all get into it. I'm gonna let y'all have one last pleasure before I take y'all off this planet right here. And this bear does the same thing. This female bear is in the middle of the bushes, getting her perv on, watching Laura Dern strip down, getting this slumber bag with George Clooney. By the way, if you listen, she's also wearing a Darth Vader helmet. The bear got some heavy ass, my boy. Got her hitting Haley and shit. But thing is, like I said, the other slashers, they at least have one small courtesy and kindness in their heart. They'll let them actually have sex. They'll let them get off real quick, so almost the slasher can get off, and they're like, all right, everybody got to die now. And everybody done, including me and y'all.
Now I'm spent.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to do but kill you.
Yeah, they'll let them have sex before gruesomely removing them from this planet right here. Not this bitch. This bear is petty as. Laura Dern barely, we assume, gets her bra off. She takes that off before the bear goes in and tears their ass up. By tearing their ass up, I mean as in a shot of an animatronic bear while Clooney and Laura Dern are just yelling a bunch of nonsense.
The kills throughout this movie harken back to Lost in Space, where it's just somebody screaming, a camera moves up, and then we cut.
And sometimes it don't even make any sense. Charlie Sheen goes out like a bitch. They don't even show you his death. They ain't got no money to show no blood.
No, they don't.
They ain't got no money. They can't even show you a dismembered hand. They show him getting killed. They just show a hand being dragged across some dirt. Jesus Christ! Sound like the Jesus dude.
I know.
Jesus Christ!
Sword of Christ.
Okay, did the bear kill him, or did the bear get him drunk?
That's the thing, because it's the first kill where you need to establish what's happening. Nothing gets established.
No.
You're like, wait, I don't know what just happened.
Okay,
here.
did the bear kill him, or did the bear just hit him over the head and drag him out? Did the bear
drag him away?
Did they do shots and he's too drunk to go back to the campground? You know, all these bear kills are stupid.
Yeah.
By the way, let me just let you know, people, they talk about that this is a 15 to 18 foot bear. That bear is the stealthiest motherfucker I've ever seen.
Know.
Nobody ever hears that bear coming. A bear could be that bear could be standing right over you, and she is so sneaky that you like, oh shit, huh? How the fuck you missed that?
His death was the funniest to me.
Oh, we'll get to that a little bit. Yeah,
because I didn't even know it happened. I had to rewind it. I was like, shit, did I miss something?
People, no one. I don't know what kind of sneakers that bear is wearing, but no one ever hears that bear coming up on them. It is straight up Jaws.
Right.
The revenge.
Bunch of young people want to have fun. Somebody's saying, hey, this is a bad idea. The person in authority is going like, I don't give a shit.
So this right here, this is Jaws with a bunch of actors that kids would know today. Like I could sit up here and tell you names, but y'all ain't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Steve Inwood, who? Yeah, exactly. Steve Inwood, there he is as Nick. Nick is pretty much the Roy Scheider character. He's the one, he has to look out for all the tourists coming to the beach. I'm sorry, here, the campground.
100,000 kids, that's not so good. Well, there are more than 2 million people who visit that thing.
I gotta be honest with you too. I had to look this up. This is how stupid I am. I had to look this up to make sure that wasn't Kenny Loggins.
I know. I was gonna say, he's more rock and roll than Roy Scheider.
Shit, I was expecting him to talk about that. Don't go to there. The bears are. It's the danger zone.
Highway 2.
I looked at that. I was like, man, y'all can't tell me that dude don't look. No, he don't look like Kenny Loggins.
Well, back in those days in that early '80s period, that's how you made somebody look cool.
Everybody had that shit.
He was down.
That feathered hair and that beard.
Yeah.
Everybody had that yacht rock look. You get to the Richard Dreyfuss character with it. Somebody named Samantha, played by Deborah Raffin. And what's funny about this is that she's such a specialist on bears that her title is literally Director of Bear Management.
Tell me, sir, how long have you been director of
Bear management.
Bear management, right?
She's like, that's fucking stupid.
I know,
like, yeah, right.
That's the title they made up for me.
Yeah.
I sued them earlier, and now they have to give me something.
I am the director of bear management. Fuck all these other creatures in the woods. Our man is
Loved
just
her, too,
bears.
because no matter what death scene happens, it's followed up by her going, "That bear's just misunderstood."
Yeah, I know.
Don't kill him.
You mean that 18-foot psychotic bear that slaughtered all these people? Yes, leave him alone.
Don't kill him. And they always have the asshole mayor in these movies. They actually have, and I need to look this up. Brad, do you know the mayor's name in this movie?
The actress?
The actress.
Louise Fletcher. Nurse Ratched.
Oh, is that Nurse Ratched?
Yeah.
Academy Award winner.
Academy Award winner Louise Fletcher, Nurse Ratched. Matter of fact, I was reading about it, I was like, how did she get in this? Because she delivers all her lines like, man, I do not want to be here. She did not want to be there.
And she did not.
She thought it was ridiculous. But reading about it, she said, well, I was 50. And as an actress, when you turn 50, you're too old to be young and you're too old to be old. And something came my way.
You're too old to be old?
Yeah, you can't play an old. You're like at 50, you can't really play an old woman, but you can't play a young one either. And she was like, a script came my way and it looked stupid, but I needed some work, so I took it. Okay.
And you know what? And she took the mayor role from, well, look, anytime you have a disaster movie, especially with killer animals, for some reason there's always a festival going on, and the mayor's always like, look, I don't give a shit about how many people die. We need this money, bitch.
Yeah, and keep your mouth shut about it.
And those are always the key words. Don't you ever talk to you know who.
We have a special situation here between the concert and this killing.
You have to deal with it. And don't talk to the press.
I don't need to talk to the press. It's the goddamn 20-foot bear attacking people. They're gonna find out. And they even got their own. They even got their own Quint, the shark hunter.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Hey, you're looking for a shark. So they need a guy with an accent. So what they did was, and I'll tell you who this person is in a minute. I want you to see if you recognize them. But they got this person here. They got their own Quint, who is a fake French / sure, this is in Hungary, but it might as well be a Native American named Bouchard. And Bouchard, he talks in broken English, and he also talks in first person.
Third person.
It's not a little.
Third person.
It's a big grizzly.
You ain't never seen no big grizzly, Miss Bear Management. Bouchard seen one once.
Ain't nobody trying to hear all that shit from Bouchard, all right?
Yeah, wait. I'm sorry. So is Bouchard coming up next?
Yeah.
I am Bouchard.
Yeah.
But why are you talking like that, man?
Yeah.
Throwing me off. Shit.
Hey, ain't nobody trying to. Yeah, Bouchard. Tell Bouchard to shut the fuck up. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. Jonathan Rhys Davies, very popularly known for Indiana Jones.
Yes, and sliders.
But the way they Frankenstein this movie together after 37 years, Brad, it is fucking fascinating. I love it. I love it.
I had to stop myself while I was watching it from looking it up because I wanted to go, wait, I got to find out why this is. I was like, nope, finish it first and then go back and look.
So even now, before you even get to George Clooney and Laura Dern and Charlie Sheen, they do the death of the bear cub intro. And the intro is not so much killing a bear cub as it is killing stock footage of a bear cub.
Yes.
Shit, let me get the fuck out of here before they find out that bullet's fake. People.
It opens that way, and I was like, okay, so I see what I'm in for. Let me strap in. Get ready.
I looked at this and I said, when did they hire George Clooney? Because George Clooney's name comes up before you see him. Mm-hmm. And I said, when did they hire George Clooney to do some movies in the asylum?
Yeah.
What is so funny and confusing about that is that stock footage, they show that stock footage later in the movie. So you don't probably remember this. They showed the stock footage later in the movie. By the way, for no reason, it's not connected to anything. The people aren't talking about it. The bear ain't dreaming or reminiscing about it. Not only do they show that same stock footage later on in the movie, but they show that stock footage. They show you the footage. It's the same footage where the bear got shot. Mm-hmm. For no reason, they show you the bear without the bullet wound, just like, yeah, the hell with it, I'm good. Just walking away. I'm like, wow, what? The only reason why they put that in there is because somebody said, I have nothing else to edit this movie with. We got to pad it out.
Oh, they had very little.
That stock footage, like the lighting is different, the film grade is different.
Yeah.
Like it's not even there. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, wait a minute, you showed the and plus, not only does it not match anything, but you just put it in there and show the bear lives.
Yeah, I mean they were able to get an actual bear over to shoot some stuff with, but he wasn't a good trained bear.
No, so they had to get a puppet.
Yeah,
they had to get a Muppet for that shit. and people, you know, some of this stuff, at least they try to make it seem like it's in the same scene. They have shots here. But they got stuff with Poachers here. Poachers talking about hunting the bear. They're like, hey, shit, we want to get that 25 grand. That's a lot of money for, at least back then, you know, early 80s. So they trying to get this bear. And they try to describe how big the bear is. And they put in scenes in there where it just ruins the flow of anything they had. They did not try one bit to make it match with the previous scene that they showed with this stuff 30 decades later that they shot.
Mm-hmm. How big did you say that bear was?
Big as this tree.
Money, don't you? Bear that big.
You mean this tree that doesn't even fit with this scene?
They do this through the whole movie where they spread out those guys' footage throughout it, and it doesn't make sense because the previous scene would be nighttime, but theirs is in the daylight.
Theirs in the daylight, yes, it's broad daylight. Apparently the dudes disappeared. Mm-hmm. Like before that, there was a dude leaning up against a tree talking about as big as this tree. And he looked up, and then all of a sudden he's gone.
Yeah.
$100,000 in Frisco.
My brother's dead? You're talking about money? God damn you!
And he forgot about that shit later. Like he
did.
like quick. Like they didn't even talk about his brother too much later on. But they can't even match scenes within the same time period. They got this. Look, it's even funnier that way. They got that scene that you're talking about, that where that dude died.
Yeah.
People,
oh my God.
It's funny. It's funny when they try to edit in. You know, it's funny to try to edit in new scenes with the old, but they can't even do it with the scenes from their own period. But I will tell you, at least they try to get creative with it. Boy, the LSD kicked in right before he died. I don't know what shrooms he took, but that shit kicked in right there.
Because I was like, okay, there's a bear outside chasing him. He goes into a cave, and suddenly there's a bear screaming back and forth.
And he's outside.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the bear's outside. Blah, 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 blah. And next thing they're like, yeah, man, we found his body. Like, what?
But the thing is, if you look at it, he's outside too. It's almost like he's teleporting if you look at it.
Yeah, because you see trees in the background. We saw him going to a cave, and then suddenly he's got trees in the background.
He got leaves and shit behind. And it's broad daylight. And those bear cams.
Oh,
those bear cams, they get ridiculous, people.
Yeah.
And trust me, I'm not showing this out of context. I'm not. They just, for some reason, so they show you with the bear from her point of view, and you hear her breathing like Darth Vader and shit. So not only does she have a Darth Vader helmet on, but they cut to a scene where the bear, it looks like she's actually even driving a car at night.
Headlights and everything.
Headlights, yeah. The bear's cruising. That bear goes riding the whip.
It's like one of those circus bears.
That bear cruising, that dramatic music's playing. People, I'm not lying. They cut to that.
Yeah.
There's no context for it. That bear's fucking driving. That bear is ghost riding the whip. Cruising. They playing that crazy.
Yeah, it's a movie about a killer bear that it'd be nice if there was a bear in it.
Yeah, instead you get bear vision. With heavy breathing. Oh, people, but it gets, look, y'all say, man, okay, this is probably the end of the review because it can't get no crazier than that. It gets crazier.
This is still early.
Because even back then, they knew that they had nothing. So half the movie is a concert film. I will tell you this. I've never seen anything like this before, where you got an animal horror disaster movie and the other half is a documentary concert movie.
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, it really does just go into that. Which we're reading about it was like that was the first thing they did. Set up this great concert. It's Russia controlled Hungary. The whole time they did it, the Russian army has them surrounded, checking on them, and they do this legit concert with some real bands and some fake. And then they were like, all right, now we can shoot all the drama and all the bear stuff. And then producers was like, he's gone with all the money.
He was drunk and he was partying like, well, I'm out.
Yeah.
And people, the funny thing is that half this movie is not only just a concert film, but it's for really bad 80s pop synth music.
It's where the 80s go to die.
Like, yeah, people like this shitty Daft Punk ripoff right here. Boy, she jamming like they really doing something. They out there, yeah. Shit. Or
big and hungry. They're the Beatles of Hungary.
The headliner was Toto Coelho, who had one big hit in the 80s, I Eat Cannibals. Because the whole time I was like, who?
You know what? I'll probably get to them in a little bit. Because the cool thing is that people, you thought that was bad? It gets worse. People just sing like crows. And
that's just open mic night.
What's that?
That's just open mic night.
Yeah. Might as well be Mr. Boots, yeah.
It goes from bad to worse to just weird. Like, what did they give these bitches before they started?
Yeah, they were a real band.
Yeah, those are the ones that I eat cannibals. Yeah. They ate their careers right there.
Well, like the other band, like the one guy who gets some drama with one of the other main characters, because they had that whole affair and little soap opera thing. Him and his partner, they were like a little band that played like little clubs, and they got in this, and they set them up with a fake band, but they were like, man, we never played an audience. Like, they really did get Eastern Europeans out there.
Yeah.
A real festival to see Western music. And for a lot of them, this was like a big deal. And they were like waiting for this concert movie to come out, not even knowing that this was part of a bear movie.
When it's the scenes with Deborah Foreman and all of the background drama and all of that going on behind the scenes on the stage. Throughout all of that, it's playing unlicensed Michael Jackson music. Yeah.
Damn. Now, see, I want to see this work print.
I want to see this work print too, man. It keeps getting worse because they keep cutting back to that band. What was the band called?
Toto Coelho.
So they must have known that was the biggest band they got, because they keep cutting back to that band, and it ruins any tension that the movie tries to have, because they'll be getting serious and they cut to that band. But keep in mind though, it's Grizzly 2, so no scenes are serious.
Yeah.
So
there's no tension.
And like there's no tension. Like even in the scenes that are already ridiculous, they ruin it even more by cutting back to the girls. And believe me, those scenes are very ridiculous.
My God! Maybe you shot the wrong Grizzly. Murdering Butcher. See, the man's colorblind. He can't even tell.
Y'all shut the fuck up so I can sleep. That man is chilling, man. Shot at the bitch. Shot at.
I like he feels like John Belushi playing a character like this, like this or Saturday Night Live sketch.
Shot at. Yeah, people, and it gets ridiculous. The scene's already ridiculous on its own. Like, they just killed the bear. Meanwhile, this bear just cooling. The bear just sleep.
Yeah.
Bear like, y'all motherfuckers are dumb. And then they just, it gets, so if you're looking for this for tension, it's already ruined with the bad stock footage. But if you're looking at it for comedy value, it keeps getting funny. Because if they try to be all serious with this stupid shit, they always come back to the bands like, but we need to settle with these girls.
Looks like back into the trophy.
That's enough.
A tranquilizer gun would have worked.
You two go now.
Fine. I told you it was a butcher.
You're like, shut that bitch up. Shut up.
Yeah. Shut up. Do something.
I'll do something.
This devil bear to Bouchard.
because I was so I kept watching this going. They just kind of sneak and film this at a concert, or because there's really people out there, lots of people.
Yeah,
and then to read it, that's why I was just like, I gotta know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they set up a legit music venue and did all this.
Yeah, people. Man, one of the hardest laughs that I got from this. Because I guess they didn't have enough band footage from back then to keep cutting to.
They didn't.
So they tried to record a modern band, but didn't even try to make them look like they were at the festival. It is clear. People, look at this. It is clear that these people are from today and they're in a backyard.
That was the thing. With all that they did with the festivals, getting it all set up, all the money they spent, they looked back at the footage and it was so much of it they couldn't use.
Yeah, these fools are they're in their backyards playing. I'm looking at this and I'm like, you couldn't get 20 friends, not even like extras to hire. You couldn't get 20 friends to stand in front of y'all and act like y'all at a concert. Yeah. You couldn't get some lights. This is a backyard barbecue and everybody here's on Molly and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
I kept thinking when I was watching that, because having seen the longer one, they really did have a lot of concert footage that was in the work print. Like I said, the work print is weirdly edited way better than this one is. Like all the characters and everything flow a little bit better. So having seen that, there was a lot of concert footage in it that could have brought this out to 75, 80 minutes, however long this is. So when this popped up, all this new footage of the band, I was sitting there going, why? Because I remember there being a lot of usable concert footage in the other one. The only thing I could think of was maybe they owed a favor to this new band that was in it. Like,
that's what it looks like. It looks like somebody that somebody in the crew knew, or one of the producers or someone knew.
Also, a lot of people didn't get paid like they were supposed to.
This dude who was making this, he robbed a lot of people. So I almost feel like I can't show, because the ending is ridiculous on this, because the bear shows up, and when he shows up, he like that. Look, for some reason, the bear is going to go to the concert.
Yeah,
it's almost like she
heard the music and she's like, oh, that's my favorite band.
Yeah, it's almost like she got tickets or she got a wristband or something. So she gonna go. She's going to the concert. That's inevitable. You know, the two gotta. That's one of the things I will say. They did make them join up at some point, but the bear gets there. And it's because you're thinking like, all right, what the fuck is this bear gonna do? It's like a concert. Of course, this bear can't attack everybody. So the bear gets there, stands outside the gate, and just starts setting off fireworks with her mind. Optimus Prime is there and shit.
The bear puppet does that.
Yeah,
by
the
way.
bear puppet. Sorry. They reversed that film, by the way, if you see it. Bear lit a dude on fire and shit. And it's funny because everybody's running from this bear, especially the Quinn here, Bouchard. Bouchard, whatever. He's running, but the bear ain't moving.
And look at the size of that bear.
I shouldn't show y'all the very end, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
You have to.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite part.
People, so this is the way they kill the bear. Apparently, the bear has been set on fire. It's engulfed in flames from fireworks, and this is the last shot of the bear that we get. Prepare yourselves, people. You will not believe me. After everything I described, you will not
be prepared.
You will not be prepared for what you're about to see. Bear caught up in Christmas lights. And he's still alive. And like, I guess he was like, I'll be back for part 3, bitches.
It looks like the ceiling on a Chuck E. Cheese caved in.
Yeah. It looks like people, they set this bear on fire only to have this bear look like she was drunk. Somebody help me.
I mean, the way it just cuts inside the bear's mouth, Cam, to it being on fire, to then just being there looking drunk, like, what happened?
People, did y'all see what I'm seeing?
No more margaritas for me.
That bear was lit up like Godzilla before.
Yeah.
So when it gets to this point in the work print, when it's all the crazy stuff going on in the at the concert, before then everything's kind of playing along linear. It's just that the insert shots of the bear are missing. When it gets to this action sequence, it just straight up just becomes B-roll. Just like a series of B-roll of all these scenes. And watching it in that version, I'm like, all right, it is like I'm just looking at B-roll, but I was like, I could see how this could be edited if you cut together, if you get the right shots in there and everything. But then watching this version, I'm like, when they're doing these speed up effects and things like that, having seen the work print, I'm like, you didn't need to do that. You just made it look sillier for different reasons.
This romantic subplot that goes on with this dude and the Kenny Loggins looking guy, his daughter. So I don't even know why they put it in there because it goes nowhere, especially since my boy right here, he shut that shit down quick.
You know what? That was probably my favorite part of the movie, where it's like this one human moment has nothing to do with the bear, and they just have a conversation, and he just puts it out there.
And that dude turns into a villain quick. And the thing is, he's the main, like in any other movie, an asshole like him would get eaten by the bear. The bear don't even come back. The bear don't even look at this.
I didn't even see him as an asshole. He was just being truthful with her.
Well, that's true. That is true.
It's all a game.
Am I a game, a laugh, and a joke?
Yes.
Shit, she waiting like he gonna change his mind, bitch.
Exactly.
No, hey,
Yeah, the moment she was like, so am I a game and a laugh and a joke? It's like, I know what answer you were hoping for, but
and that shot lingers like
yeah, it does.
She waited a long time for him to be like, oh, I'm just joking, girl. Come here. No, she after about 5 minutes, she's like, fuck. This dude,
he's like, me told her straight up,
some game
I'm
on
a
me.
musician on the road, sweetheart. What did you think this is?
My man looked at her in the eye too and said, yes. You see the way he turned his head? Shit, don't ask no questions you don't want answers for.
Am I a game, a laugh, and a joke?
Yes.
You like, bitch, look in my eyes. Yes.
I mean, he thought about it for a minute.
He looked at her like, ha ha. It's a legendary and infamous film that people have been talking about for years. Hence, Brad Jones, having talked about this way before any of us came across this. Brad, you what was the deal with you getting a cease and desist talking about this movie?
Oh, so I have a long history with this movie. I reviewed this about 10 years ago, I think, on the show. Again, just I found the work print of it that it's easy to find. And then I don't know, a few days, a week or so after that, Suzanne Nage, who produced this movie, and we actually got along fairly well not long after this, but she sent me a really angry email about it. And then not too long after that, she sent me another email to take it down, but nicer. About 3 years ago, I get another email from her, and she was wanting to do... She's been really gung-ho about this project for a very long time, and she is a Hungarian artist. And we had several phone conversations with each other. What was that?
What was her name? Suzanne what?
Suzanne Nage.
Okay.
It's Nagy, I think is how you spell it. So she was very, very, very fun to talk to. She seems like she'd be a pretty fun person. So we had several phone conversations a few years ago where she wanted to hire me to write here's what I think happened. So The Disaster Artist, the movie, got fairly big around this time. And I think she was wanting, and I could be wrong, but I think she was wanting like kind of a disaster artist type movie about the insane making of Grizzly 2. And there is a lot of material there for that. The movie has a weird backstory where people are kicked out of a country, production shut down, all of this crazy stuff happens. So she wanted to have me write something like this. And then it kind of turned into where it'd be something like The Disaster Artist or like a mockumentary, because she was also saying, like, what if we have someone playing the bear who's going to talk in like interview segments?
Oh, Jesus.
She wanted this sort of mockumentary but kind of disaster artist type thing on the movie. And then the conversations just kind of stopped on it. I wish it kept going. She was a fun person, and I would have liked to. I absolutely would have done it.
I think it's a great idea, other than the bear talking.
Yeah, that ruined it.
I know, man.
She missed when saying that. She misses the point, and that's where I even would have said, "You really don't get it. I'm not doing this."
That would have been a nightmare. With her coming in with ideas like that. So it's like right when you get attached to it and feel in love with it and like what you're doing, she'd come in with stuff like that and just kill the whole thing. It ended up being an Alan Smithy production.
I know how I am, though, where I'm the kind of person who would probably be like, I'll see if I can work with this.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen, right?
It's like the way I look at it was like, I don't know if the talking bear thing would have ended up in the actual thing or if it would have just been kind of this bonus little thing. But I don't know. Like it was a lot of random notes. But I know how my brain works on this kind of thing. So when I'm hearing things like that, like there's always the part of me that's like, at the end of the day, if this project were to happen, it'd be a good story.
Yeah, except it would have turned into some shit like Yogi Bear or something at some point. Yes. Shit would turn into like some crazy ass Paddington or something. Which I don't know. Maybe that could have worked.
Well, I mean, that would be. You make it sound cool. I don't think it'd be as good as that.
Do you think there's a chance that well, first of all, there's a chance that it might pick up popularity again, get cult status, and then maybe at some point she'll call you back and say, hey, let's pick this back up?
I would totally do it. Having seen this, because like I've seen the work print, and in the work print, I could see how it could be edited into something that's fine or watchable enough considering the circumstances. Mm-hmm. It was salvageable. And then looking at this and kind of seeing that you needed about 3 extra years to add on to your already 37 years. I imagine, I don't know. I'm looking at this. I'm like, this still feels unfinished.
Oh, yeah.
And this kind of feels like something where they just sort of wanted to get it out there and didn't. I don't know how long they spent on this, but I am like, I think it could have been a little bit better, or at least have some matching footage.
Yeah, no,
that's not a big ask.
They start taking footage.
I know, right?
Yeah, they start taking footage from The Revenant and shit. Yeah, hey, you can use that. Well, Brad, man, that was a lot of fun to do that with you, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Like Kevin wrote to me about this the other day, and I wrote him back, and I go like, oh, I've been wanting to do this for about 11 years. Like, talk about this like movie that I have this bizarre history with.
Man, I find that fascinating.
Yeah, that is.
Like, I never knew that, but that is completely fascinating that you almost wrote the disaster artist version of Grizzly and Grizzly 2. I'm not even saying that sarcastically. I think, like, that's amazing.